Let's take a look. Are they going to be banning the same heroes yet again? Are we expecting a Rampage to even come out of the draft and not be banned? But at the same time, are you going to ban the Richter or are you going to ban the Kwang? Because we know that Nyzah was able to actually have a lot of success with Kwang's tethers, of course, assisting Morose in securing those kills and having that early lead.
Yeah, I think that Quang being picked up by Indecisive was definitely one of the big reasons why they ended up having such a rough off lane for the side of Import's backpack. So I think as Import, you never really want to ban the Rampage, because on the off chance that Indecisive doesn't ban it, then it's going to be Import playing his most favorite champion in the game, the big frog monster, and we know how good he is on that hero. So I think here, as you mentioned, like probably a Quang ban. I'm not sure like how scary that Richter is for them, but it does look like that Quang that Nyzah was piloting last game was a big problem.
They're going to deny that hero from Morose and, of course, deny that from being played by Nyzah. But how is Indecisive going to respond here? Are they going to take away that fish frog swamp monster from Import's backpack? Or are they going to let him have it and let another jungler come through? One of the other things that Nyzah can play, though, is he can play a really mean Kalari. And we saw that from yesterday's matches, but there's the Rampage ban.
The Rampage being banned, I think that hero is synonymous with Import, so definitely a good ban for them. And as you highlighted, Nyzah on the jungle role for Indecisive loves those sort of assassin characters. He loves the Kalari, but he also loves the counters, loves all of those heroes. But we see Richter being picked up by Import's backpack can be flexed into quite a few roles.
He definitely can be. He has that silence, of course, with the Riplash, really able to close the gap and with a upon his enemies, and of course a really strong hard CC coming from him. Richter can be played by Import, he can be played by Zeyn, or it can be in Naz's hands, and that's the question that we're going to be seeing here. And Indecisive, they're going to respond with a Lieutenant Bellica.
Yeah, that was a fast lock-in that could still go in the support role or the mid lane. We know TehAssid loves it, ManQ loves it as well. So nothing to be quite had. That's always like the good thing about predecessor drafting, that most heroes can be flexed into multiple roles. So with a flex pick like that, like you are not sure what you want to pick. As Import's backpack, for example, like if we think that might be a mid lane Bellica, then Howitzer would be good. But if it's a support Bellica, then you could counter that Howitzer with a Gideon, for example, that plays well into it. So it's always this sort of interesting thing while drafting. Indecisive, though, goes for the early Wraith. They don't want to deal with Juli's Wraith again.
They definitely don't. We saw how good Julie was with that Wraith. Unfortunately, there wasn't just a lot of support for her in the sense that there wasn't that much peel and protection and defense for the Wraith. But Indecisive actually picking up the Bellica as well as the Wraith, which was in Import's backpack Imports team's hands in that last match. So going to this game number 2, we're going to be expecting a lot of CC from the Bellica, but long range poke from the Wraith. But there's the Chimera.
Yeah, Import on dog duty is gonna play the Chimera, is gonna hit all his RMBs, all his ambushes this game, I believe. And yeah, definitely one of those heroes that have fallen off with Rampage being stronger and stronger, but with that being banned away, I think we come to the sort of second tier of junglers. Quang and Rampage probably stand on top of the current jungler list, and then we have the Chimeras, the Crunches, like all of those heroes can be playable together with sort of assassin picks that Nyzah really likes, like the Kalari and the Countess. But now we see Sevrog again. Nos didn't have the best game last game, but hey, it's always a new
It
game.
always is, and we're gonna start fresh, Tang. But Chimera, I love this pick for Import because we know how aggressive he is as a jungler. He might not have had the success he wanted with Crunch, but with that ambush coming from the Chimera, he's able to really leap onto his enemies and lock onto them. But on the other side, we see Asad Al Habibi playing that gadget.
Yeah, he loves his gadget, even though it might not even be the best gadget game against the Chimera that can just use the cleanse on his gate. He might have a bit of a problem, but it kind of locks in the Bellica. The Bellica is gonna go in the support role, most likely Gadget gonna be mid. I don't think too many people like to play the Gadget in the off lane, for example. So those roles are pretty locked in. And now we come to the ban phase. Now we've seen like support still up for Import's backpack, actually not up because it's probably gonna be Richter. So ADC still up for Import's backpack. That might be a ban worthy pick.
And we'll have to see if they're going to answer with a ban against the Morose. Is it going to be a Grux ban? Is it going to be a Zara's ban? But here's Indecisive banning that Gideon. They know that Gadget is one of those elusive mid laners that's able to deal a lot of AoE damage. And they also have the Lieutenant Balaka that's going to be piloted by ManQ. And ManQ, he's a very aggressive support and he's going to be playing an aggressive hero. But there's the Kalari ban.
Kalari ban. Import's backpack putting respect on Nyzah's name, just not letting that hero through it. It makes the game very unreadable. With that invis, he manages to gank lanes at timings where you would think that no Zeyn jungler is gonna gank you, but remember, Kalari players are no Zeyn players after all. So definitely a good ban. And now we have Indecisive having another pick with the Gadget, the Bellica Wraith being picked up by them so far. So they're missing sort of a front line this far. So it might just be the Saros picked again, usually really good with that Gadget combination, but it could also be a Grux. Morose loves Gruxing.
Yes, are we going to be expecting, we're going to be expecting either of those heroes to come out from Indecisive side. And just like we mentioned, there's the Grux, and that's going to be in Morose's hands. Morose, he's going to be Gruxing against Nyzah's Sevarog. But how are they going to counter and help prevent that? That is the question as we go into this game number 2. We're going to be expecting a lot of aggression coming from Import to really help Sevarog to scale into this mid to late game, but there's the Howitzer.
Howitzer into Gadget is not a bad lane necessarily. I think the Howitzer can dodge out on the microwave, for example. He can just get airborne and dodge all of the Gadget's abilities pretty much. So definitely also one of those heroes that Import's mid laner loves to play. Wangle really proficient on that Howitzer. Oh, for the side of Indecisive, the Grux is not 100% locked into the offlane. Remember, Nyzah could still play it in the jungle as well because it's not bad into the Chimera. But we have the Librarian lane, as TJ loves to call it. Import's backpack, Richter and Drongo, they just say shush and you're not allowed to speak anymore.
As the Brits would say, shush your mush. With the Richter and Drongo combination, Drongo, time and time again, is one of those heroes that has a lot of safety and disengage with his shrapnel cannon, just really disengaging from his enemies as they leap onto him. But here's the Countess play from Indecisive. I love this.
You sound very excited.
I do!
It's gonna be Nyzah picking that up in the jungle most likely. Grux gonna head over to the offlane Morose. Certainly a very interesting comp. I wasn't really expecting so much spice coming out, but Indecisive certainly delivering.
Dude, this is like the chef's kiss. And let's not delay the game, Tang, because let's jump right into game number 2.
Game number 2, now on the way. Import's backpack on the blue side, Indecisive still on that orange sort of side. We see the early rollouts coming out from both teams. We didn't really see any invades in the first game, but now with the Richter, maybe Import's backpack want to do something. Zeyn is piloting that one together with the Drongo. We talked about it a little bit before, but now against a Wraith and Bellica, how do you really see that lane?
Against a Wraith and a Bellica, of course, you're going to be expecting a lot of aggression. We know that ManQ loves his Bellica supports, and he plays a lot of these supports aggressive. And so that's something that we're going to be expecting from him. And along with the Wraith, which was piloted by Julie in the last game, Wraith is able to deal a lot of damage from far away. So he's able to just really be safe away from Julie, away from Zeyn. But at the same time, Zeyn is going to be piloting the Richter. So if those hooks manage to connect and if they land on the enemies here, there's a lot of kill potential with Richter and Drongo against this Wraith and Bellica.
Especially with the combo we were talking about before, the double silence on both heroes is just gonna make the game unplayable for both of them. But we're spectating Morose and Nos right now. Last game was the Morose show. This time on that Rhino is gonna prove to to us that it was not a fluke.
It definitely wasn't, as we see Morose and Nyzah just trading into each other here. Both of these heroes or players, I guess, excelling in the offlane. But Nyzah not really finding the success that he wants with his Sevarog. But maybe this is the game for him in this best of three against this Grux here. Just going to be a question to see how the jungler will help them over in the offlane. Are we going to see that aggression from import and have him make that rotation there, or see Nyzah at least land her abilities and deal a lot of damage as Countess?
We see the hook being dodged out, but Richter going really low is going to have to flash away. Cabodani following with the blink. ManQ still looking onto JuliLatina. Is not going to help out with the damage on Zeyn, but Cabodani has enough for the first blood. Is going to be secured by him. Juli still boxing against the Bellica. That does go a bit lower, but she is a bit in trouble. The Seismic Assault is going to miss, but Juli is so low. Cabodani barely misses the Q, but is going to hit with the knock-knock. Really good trading. We see both junglers making their way over that side as well. Counter started blue side, so she is heading towards the dual lane. So is Chimera.
There isn't a blink on Cabodani, but at the same time, he got the first blood of the game, or sorry, first blood. I shouldn't repeat myself there, but there's a little bit of a skirmish with the two junglers here.
And Chimera is just stronger at counters at this point in the game. Bellica is gonna join, but she is so low as well. Import has Zeyn right there. Zeyn is gonna look at ManQ, but he knows ManQ has still blink up. Nyzah is gonna get jumped on by Kai. Meanwhile, a solo kill by Cabodani on the other side of the map. Bellica is still gonna trade, is gonna fall down. Finally, Nyzah goes down as well. Now Howitzer is right there. TehAssid high HP, but no mana. A good knockup by ManQ is going to secure nothing. Zeyn, though, really low. It's going to be a blink forward by TehAssid. It's going to get hooked forward by Zeyn. Zeyn, really low. So is TehAssid. TehAssid is going to hit that last basic. Now Wangle in the front line is going to fight against Cabodani as well. Cabodani is going to run away. Blink forward. Wangle is going to secure that kill on Wraith. What is going on?
There's so much going on, Tang. We have a Wangle making the rotation. We have Zeyn who left his ADC alone. Unfortunately, Juli being taken down by Cabodani and opening or allowing Cabodani to have that opportunity to rotate into that skirmish there in that jungle. But that was just the 3 minutes in with that first river buff. And we saw both junglers know when those river buffs spawn, which is with every odd numbers right there. But we're 4-4. They are neck and neck. But at the same time, looking at this game number 2, Import's Backpack, there's a lot at stake for them here, because if they lose this game, they're out of this tournament.
And that's certainly not something that Import wants to have happened. He is the current PCC MVP, also the champion of that last PCC tournament in NA, just absolutely smashing on ping. But now on EU with a different team, he's proving that that was not a one-time sort of thing. Nyzah contesting the river. He's got to make sure that Wangle is good and starved in that mid lane with his big boy Import not around.
And so with Wangle, he has to be starved, but right now he's being fed, because from that skirmish and that fight there, he left 3-0, securing all of those kills as they were all really low. But Zeyn with the kill on ManQ.
No blink on Cabodani. Is going to look to trade into Zeyn. Zeyn, though, is going to dodge like a ballerina, even though he looks like something else. But 2 kills over to the side of Import's Backpack. Import, the hero of the day, saves his support.
Saving Zeyn right there. He maybe not the most smooth ballerina that we're thinking of. Richter being played by Zeyn there. But still, luckily for him, he was able to get away, and Import just making that rotation as the Chimera, just leaping onto his enemy, and of course securing that kill on Cabodani. Put him on the board. We have 3-0 for Wangle right now, 2-2 for Zeyn and Juli, of course, 1-1. Looking at the scoreboard, though, there's a little bit of a lead coming from Indecisive side, but of course, those kills are more so on Import's Backpack right now, but it's not over yet, as we have these neutral objectives up now that we're 6 minutes in. We have the mini prime that's coming up, and then, of course, the Fangtooth is ready.
The early objectives are always one thing that decide the game really hard. As we look at the offlane as well, I think you were talking about the sort of CS leads that Indecisive has, and most of that is on this Rhino right here. Level 6 Grux, super dangerous to gank, especially as the Chimera. All his abilities chain really well together, so Chimera can't really stack up his health regen in that lane. But honestly, Savrog is happy just being 0-0-0, being 20 CS down is fine for him as long as he can get those stacks and just be a bit more useful in the late game. But now we see a bit of a mid lane rotation by Import. We see Nyzah being on a ward on that Fangtooth as well. I think both teams are very cognizant of the fact that the Fangtooth might be the first objective of the game.
It definitely is. And of course, both junglers just really showing themselves and showing up over on the mid side. But here's a colossal blow onto Morose here, landing into Import's arms. As they leap onto him, they secure that kill on Morose. Now we have Import with his first kill. He's on the right side of the map. Meanwhile, Nyzah is really trying to get to that level 6 as we reach and go into this neutral objectives that's open for the taking.
This is very scary for Nyzah. That Kai that Import is piloting is so strong that he can't like really contest him in river. So every time he gets caught, he might be under threat of dying. Also, right there we saw the Chimera ganking the Savrog and still almost getting the 1-for-1 trade. Nos really hasn't stacked up his stacks quite yet, but now we see Nyzah looking towards the mid lane. Wangle is a bit pushed up, but does have the ultimate. It's gonna get locked down with a good ultimate, but with the microwave being invested as well, there's just no damage with that gadget having no hard CC lockdown. It's just gonna be a bit of trading onto Wangle, but still, 2 ults blown. Now we see Zeyn getting engaged on. Import is right there. ManQ, though, in a world of hurt, is gonna get run down.
He is definitely getting run down as we have the support, the jungler, and the ADC. But TehAssid making the rotation here over onto the left side, forcing these Imports Backpacks team to go into their T1 tower. But of course, we have Wangle, who's also in the vicinity.
Yeah, Wangle making sure that that play does not extend further. We see both of them having blown their blinks together with their ultimates. Oh, it's in the mid lane. It's going to trade aggressively onto TehAssid. That is going to use their gadget passive to block out most of that damage. With that shock absorber passive, he gets a good chunk of shield that explodes upon it being removed. But now we're looking back to that offlane. Morose level up on that Grux, even with that gank up a ton of CS as well.
Both of these teams are now level 6, but here's a skirmish yet again, Tang, with Wangle taking a lot of damage, but it's not quite over as Import's trying to look for an opportunity, but he's just by himself here.
He's in a world of hurt. Nyzah is going to follow him with that blink. Nyzah still hitting. Does not have the red buff to catch up, but there is going to be a hook from Zeyn, making sure to get a lot of damage onto him, but in the end, it's just going to put Nyzah close by. ManQ secures that kill, and now they're close to Fangtooth as well. Kill onto Wangle off screen. Now Zeyn forces out the blink, but in the end, Cabodani goes in aggressively. He is not afraid whatsoever. There is gonna be a hook connecting. Cabodani still trading into Zeyn. There's gonna be the Bellica coming up. Juli is gonna get rebound. They are gonna look for the hard CC. Misses. Cabodani gets the kill onto Richter, has to flash away. Juli follows, but with that invis, he might escape. Is one hit. The red rounds kill him? They don't. Now ManQ fighting against Juli. Juli, no mana, is in a decent spot, but in the end, just can't convert it. Import, though, starting up that Fang.
He is now starting that Fang, but Juli just doesn't have enough mana to really deal that damage against Cabodani, following him up with the blink back to back. And unfortunately, Zeyn going down there as well. Zeyn just doing his best to really peel for his carry. We saw that there was the rewind coming from Wraith, and at the same time, really good rotations from ManQ as he was able to really provide that hard CC we talked about. We have that knock-up that's coming from him. But ManQ, as a support, he's 3-2 right now, and he's secured that first item, that time warp that allows him to have that power, that haste, and as well as that mana regen. But that first Fangtooth is going into Import's backpack.
It is going over. First objective of the game. Mini Prime has not been traded yet. Kill score 7-7 with 7 assists and 7 assists to the other side and 7 deaths to the other side. So a lot of 7s right there as we see Zeyn making the rotation towards mid lane. They don't want to give up the Mini Prime. No wards quite there yet. Countess is in the vicinity though.
She
Chimera
definitely.
resetting.
Ooh, she definitely is, but we mentioned how there's like that mini prime that's right over there. So she's hovering onto that side. And of course, Import also heading over on the right-hand side. But there's going to be a gank here in the mid lane.
Is gonna go and Wangle is gonna use the ultimate, but TehAssid using the ultimate again, but he doesn't know that Wangle can just fly away like the sky hamster that he is. He's gonna get out of trouble, no problems, but 2 ults invested over to the side of Import's backpack. Only 1 for Indecisive.
I really like the
Other way
rotations.
around.
Yeah, I really like the rotations coming from Zeyn here, which is different from the first game. Earlier in the first match, Zeyn didn't really make those rotations, but here's a colossal blow onto Morose with him blinking behind. So the subjugate doesn't land, just really trying to get away and from being chased by this really, really mad Import as well as Nyzah, who's just looking for the kill here. They're just playing ring around the rosy, but it's not enough as they're able to just leap onto him, and the ambush will secure the kill.
That looked really cool. I gotta admit, that looked really cool. That was pretty unnecessary, but it looked really cool. Like, in a world, maybe it could have lived if Nyzah was there a bit earlier. Maybe they can actually turn that fight. But in the end, it's just the blink exchange for really nothing. Neither Chimera nor Severok had to use that right there. ManQ just playing super far up, just doesn't respect Zeyn at all. It's just gonna dodge every hook anyway. So if you don't get hooked by the Richter, then suddenly that lane is so much easier to play. And Nyzah ganking the mid lane a lot, but hasn't found much purchase yet.
He definitely hasn't, but Import on Gadget right now, Tang.
On Gadget is gonna get low and is gonna get booped back by Goodmine. Kill secured by Wangle as well.
Kill secured by Wangle, using that boop to really knock him back. And even though he didn't have the make it rain, at the same time, they knew that Gadget didn't have the Tesla Dome either. So there isn't that damage or the microwave coming from TehAssid there in the mid lane. There's a lot of success that we're seeing here from Import playing this Chimera, but we're going to go in for a little bit of a restart here as we have a little bit of a replay bug, unfortunately.
Yeah, unbelievable that that happens today. But yeah, what can we do? We are just going to look at ourselves in the meanwhile. We're going to talk about the game a tiny bit. I think right there, like that gank towards the mid lane happened because Nyzah and TehAssid used their ultimates, and Import didn't really. So Import was still there, and he was like, okay, I can just use my cult to secure that kill on Gadget that was just a bit overextended, and Wangle just following up really well as well, securing that kill. And I think all in all, I think it's a very winnable game for Import's backpack so far.
It definitely is. And we saw how much success he's having as he made those rotations everywhere in the game. We saw him in the mid lane. We saw him even in those skirmishes. And just, of course, this is the answer that we were looking for. And this is how they're going to respond against Morose there, who's actually not scaling as a raid boss compared to last game.
Yeah, Roxy doesn't have much, but now Julie is gonna get low, is gonna use that rebound on her, uses the ultimate late though, Zeyn missing the hook again, is gonna get pushed in, Imports right there, is gonna just look at them, but nothing's happening. Nyzah though is gonna be there, a lot of damage coming out. Cleanse used by Import to make sure that he's not in a world of hurt. Wangle on the rotation as well, just making sure no funny business is happening. But yeah, coming back to your earlier point that Grux in that offlane has had a lot of attention on him. He wasn't really able to accelerate as he did last game. And as the Severok, you must feel very confident playing into the Grux in the late game. We can see him having picked up that Fire Blossom, now heading over to his second sort of tank item. He's certainly going to have a good time, but also important to note, Mini Prime still hasn't been taken.
And now looking at TehAssid here, we have 3 members of Indecisive team taking down this T1 tower. Of course, Gadget has a lot of that fast, healthy wave clear that that Gadget has as a mage, a lot of AoE damage. Meanwhile, on the other side, we have Wangle, who's more of that single target damage. But Wangle, put him on the board. He's 4-1 right now, and a lot of gold in his pocket against TehAssid. But now we have Import starting up that mini prime.
Mini Prime being started. Nyzah is close by. He's gonna trade into import. Resources being used. Import. Remember, he has the cleanse. Can't really use it as Nyzah, as we have a bit of a few on Cabodani. Cabodani also in the game. Don't remember, he is the Spanish ADC player of Indecisive, as we have a bit of a few, as there is a bit of action going in the prime pit. But now we see Nyzah just kills import, one-shot same counters is broken. Please remove the hero. And we see a bit more trading. Now we get a bit of a rewind again. Now we look into the pit. Nyzah getting jumped on by import. Meanwhile, Wangle getting caught on the other side of the map. Import now in the pit. Mini Prime is gonna get lower. Nyzah though securing the kill. That should be the Mini Prime secured after as well. Sevrog in a bad spot. Grux is gonna Grux all over him. Nyzah Nos tries to run away, but Nyzah secures the kill with the help of Wangle. Now Morose got the kill. Zeyn running away. Blink forward by Cabodani, getting the rewind onto the Richter, but no follow-up quite yet. Cabodani, can he one-shot that Richter that is just gonna run away and think, what was that?
So now we lost 2 members of Import's backpack versus TehAssid going down for Indecisive side. But meanwhile, on the left side of the jungle, while all of that was happening, we have Juli able to take down that tier 1 tower over on the left-hand side, able to soak in XP, and of course the gold all by herself as we go into this mid to late game. Things are getting spicy here. There's another fight.
Zeyn going down. Now import goes in. Mini Prime onto the counters. It's gonna use a lot of damage onto the Chimera. Now Cabodani secures the kill on Richter. Nos is in the front line. He should be pretty tanky, but Nyzah with that Prime buff deals so much damage. Truly half HP fighting onto Cabodani. Cabodani is gonna get down. Bit of a rough positioning by him, but still Morose just pushing on the other side of the map.
They were able to secure that kill onto Cabodani there, but at the same time, they also took down Zeyn, but it's not quite over yet as we have a lot of pressure and we have the rotation coming from Indecisive as they close in on this T2 tower. Not a lot of minions though. Morose, meanwhile, on the other hand, able to just take down that tier 2 tower all by himself. No mana, but here is the second Fangtooth that's up and Indecisive is on it.
Indecisive is on it. Import had to respawn. Now Nyzah is gonna get hit on by Nos and Zeyn. Good hook connects, but Fangbooth still secured. Now a lot of fighting in the pit. Zeyn is gonna get lower. Nyzah is a problem as well. Zeyn going low. Truly uses a good shrapnel cannon to get a lot of damage off, but ManQ is gonna bait out the stasis, but still Zeyn in a world of hurt. Also going down the gadget. Cabodani is the last one remaining together with Grux, but what a chaotic team fight.
That was chaos indeed, as we have 3 members down on side of Indecisive and 2 on the side of Import's backpack. Unfortunately, that second Fangtooth did go the way of Indecisive as they were able to just really jump on it. And Import's backpack just really doing their best to clean up right afterwards. We saw that there was a lot of damage coming from the squishy heroes of Import's backpack. We have Wangle, really good use of his epoch there to just try to delay the inevitable, which was his death. And JuliLatina 3-1 now going into this mid to late game. Cabodani though, he's kind of matching her presence here in terms of CS as well. Really opting for that Witch Stalker cleanse yet again, which was different from Juli's Ortis from previous game.
Cabodani respecting the hard CC maybe a bit more. Juli was more the stacking route. Now with the Witch Stalker, Cabodani should have a bit more survivability. It probably works well together with his playstyle. We see him getting caught a few times, but also dishing out a lot of damage. That's always to remember. In ADC, it's always the delicate balance of dishing out a lot of damage, while also not getting caught by the entire enemy team. So we see Fangtooth being taken, Mini Prime being taken, nothing really on the map to talk about. So I'm just going to talk about the items instead. Combustion, Wraith Leggings, finished onto Wangle, 2.5 items deep. Zeyn, 2 items, has the Dynamo to improve the damage taken from all enemies that he hits with his Cure.
And he's definitely going for that Galaxy Greaves, I see as well. So he's going to be able to be a lot more elusive and dance better as a ballerina, like what you mentioned earlier. But Zeyn, I really like how he's able to peel a lot better for his squishy team here, and also peel for them as well, and just make those rotations, because earlier as the Decker, it seemed like he was just getting too caught out. Just beautiful play from the support. But on the other side, you have ManQ who's piloting that Belica, a lot of aggression, and of course able to land those CC combination from her together with her team, and that's how they were able to secure those kills.
Yeah, and then they have Nyzah as well with that lockdown with his ultimate, right? So it's like so scary to play into those heroes, especially as the squishies. Like we've seen so far, Howitzers are managing to dodge out on that gadget damage by ultimating immediately. But now with the more lockup by Belica, it's hard to do. Now Nyzah looking at Zeyn just running away, making sure that he knows that the entire red side jungle belongs to Indecisive at this point. Prime up now, 20 minutes in the game. Both teams just posturing, getting deep vision.
There is still that T1 tower on the side of Indecisive as well. So that doesn't really help us, help Import's backpack here to open the map, but they're making the rotation here over onto the offlane, both sides just posturing. It's like a little dance, looking to see who's caught off guard, who's at the wrong position, and who's there at the wrong time as well. But Zeyn with that most incredible, wonderful item with the Galaxy Greaves, peeking up over the wall there as we have that Prime we're talking about, but Wangle took a lot of damage from all that.
Yeah, I mean, that guy was almost one shot right there. Just a good head connecting from RC together with the double boop by the Wraith, making sure that he has to reset, go back to base, but no real objectives up right now. Big Prime is up, as we mentioned, but both teams not that much ahead that they can really brute force it, even if it was a 4 versus 5 for a time. Morose looking at input and Zeyn, but I think the big thing is going to be the Fangbooth that is going to spawn up in about 20 seconds time.
Third Fangtooth in the game. You get that movement speed. You also get those buffs a little bit longer. So there's a lot that can happen here. They can also make a play for that Ore Prime that we were talking about. But these teams are neck and neck. But there's a lot more at stake on the side of Import's backpack here. As if they lose this game, they are totally out and eliminated from this tournament. Meanwhile, we have Indecisive. If they win, they're going to be able to move on to the next match. But here we have this team that's just hovering right around this third Fangtooth we were talking about.
Yeah, third Fangbooth being contested. Just to correct the record, the losers are going to play the small finals, and the winners are going to play the real finals. So match of third place is still going to happen for the loser of this game, but they certainly don't want this to happen. Now, a bit of a fist fighting around the Fangbooth that is getting started up by Nyzah, that is in the pit together with all the other members. Now, Nos is going to face check together with Import. There is going to be a fight into the pit. A good Tesla Dome onto a few enemy team secures the kill. The Fangbooth now more fighting. A good ultimate by Nyzah onto Drongo is going to make him really low. Now is going to be a blink forward by Cabodani, securing the kill. Good knockup, connecting on Wangle. ManQ as the support deals out so much damage. Wangle has to run away, and they're heading straight to the big front.
That's 4 members down on the side of Import's backpack, and unfortunately, there's a lot of damage coming out from Indecisive there, especially Cabodani. We've got these players who have all of these items. We have 3 items we're talking about now that we're entering into this late game, but now they want to end this game. We have this Ore Prime that's up. Nyzah they don't look very healthy right now, but at the same time, they should be able to take this as well. 14 and 16. How is Import's backpack going to defend against this really beefed up Indecisive team?
That's certainly what they are asking as well, especially now the Grux got the tier 2 in the meanwhile as well, a lot of money on his pockets, and we sort of see like the strats when fighting this. A good Tesla Dome onto the objective, making sure everybody's low, and then Nyzah just goes in and immediately uses the ultimate on the Drongo. Drongo can't really do anything, even with the Liberator and the Shrapnel Cannon, just gets sort of a one-shot with Cabodani securing the kill as well. No, it's gonna be all 5 members having that big prime. They're doing 4-1, taking the mid lane and that off lane.
And of course, even though they don't really have that traditional front line that we usually look for. We are looking for those beefy front line, talking about Steel or the Richter. There's a lot that there's still a lot of damage, but Morose, he's all by himself here against 3 people, and he's actually going to take 2 of them down. And now Nas is by himself, and Nyzah with the rotation. They take Zeyn away, they kill Import, and they also kill Nas along with that Ore Prime buff. Now it's just Wangle and Juli that's up as they take this middle inhibitor.
Someone check him, PC. What was going on there? Just Morose absolutely gruxing out of his mind, using the LMB really effectively onto 3 people, sometimes using his RMB as well, just making sure to end the life of all of them. Now there's gonna be that push onto the core, the match-winning sort of push. Now all of them are right there. They're just gonna target the core, and with no wave clear on the side of Import's backpack, they're just gonna keep shooting. Wangle gets killed by Cabodani, but most members are still hitting that core that is gonna explode, and Indecisive takes the game 2-0.